Welcome to Educational Technology 2. Lesson 8. Higher Thinking Skills through IT-Based Projects. In this lesson, we shall discuss 4 types of IT-based projects which can effectively be used in order to engage students in activities of a higher plane of thinking. These projects represent constructivist projects, containing the key elements of a constructivist approach to instruction, namely, the teacher creating the learning environment, the teacher giving students the tools and facilities, and the teacher facilitating learning. The 4 IT-based projects conducive to develop higher thinking skills and creativity among learners are resource-based projects, simple creations, guided hypermedia projects, and web-based projects. Resource-based projects. In these projects, the teacher steps out of the traditional role of being a content expert and information provider, and instead lets the students find their own facts and information. Only when necessary for the active learning process does the teacher step in to supply data or information. The general flow of events in resource-based projects are: the teacher determines the topic for the examination of the class. The teacher presents the problem to the class. The students find information on the problem or questions, and students organize their information in response to the problem or questions. For example, in science, the teacher wants her students to learn about the causes and effects of air pollution. She introduces the topic to the class and asks them to write a report about the causes of air pollution and its effects in the environment. The students will be allowed to step out of the classroom to do their research. They can go to the library, surf the internet, or interview other people. After that, they will have to organize the information they have acquired and write their report, citing their resources and references for credibility. Relating to finding information, the central principle is to make the students go beyond the textbook and curriculum materials. Students are also encouraged to go to the library, particularly to the modern extension of the modern library, the Internet. The inquiry-based or discovery approach is given importance in the resource-based projects. This requires that the students, individually or cooperatively with members of his group, relate gathered information to the real world. This means that they have to relate their learnings or how they can be beneficial for them in their real lives. The process is given more importance than the project product. It doesn't matter, for example, if each group comes up with a different answer to the problem. What matters are the varied sources of information, the line of thinking, and the ability to agree in defense of their answers. This table shows the difference between the traditional and resource-based learning approach to instruction. As you can see, there is a significant difference between the traditional and resource-based learning. The traditional learning model is teacher-centered, meaning the teacher is the sole provider of information, while the resource-based learning model is student-centered, where students are actively involved and more accountable for their own learning. Simple creations. Students can also be assigned to create their software materials to supplement the need for relevant and effective materials. Of course, there are available software materials such as Creative Writer by Microsoft for writing, KidWork Deluxe by Davidson for drawing and painting, and MediaWeave by Humanity Software for multimedia. Today, we can create using Microsoft Word for writing, Microsoft Paint or Adobe Photoshop for drawing and painting, and Microsoft PowerPoint and other video editing softwares for multimedia. In developing software, creativity as an outcome should not be equated with ingenuity or high intelligence. Creating is more consonant with planning, making, assembling, designing, or building. Creativity is said to combine 3 kinds of skills or abilities: analyzing, which is distinguishing similarities and differences, seeing the project as a problem to be solved; synthesizing, making spontaneous connections among ideas, they're generating interesting or new ideas, and promoting selling of new ideas to allow the public to test the ideas themselves. To develop creativity, the following 5 key tasks may be recommended. Define the task. Clarify the goal of the completed project to the student. Brainstorm. The students themselves will be allowed to generate their own ideas on the project. Rather than shoot down ideas, the teacher encourages idea exchange. Judge the ideas. The students themselves make an appraisal for or against any idea. Only when the students are completely off track should the teacher intervene. Act. The students do their work with the teacher as a facilitator. Adopt flexibility. The students should be allowed to shift gears and not follow an action path rigidly. Guided hypermedia projects. The production of self-made multimedia projects can be approached in 2 different ways. 1. As an instructive tool, such as in the production by students of a PowerPoint presentation of a selected topic. 2. As a constructivist tool, such as when students do a multimedia presentation with text, graphs, photos, audio narration, interviews, video clips, and etc. to simulate a television news show. Hypermedia can be defined as a non-sequential format that uses hypertext and multimedia elements to present information to users. The use of hypermedia must be carefully guided by teachers and other educational professionals to ensure that students are learning and focusing on valuable curricular concepts. Web-based projects. Students can be made to create and post web pages on a given topic, but creating web pages, even single-page ones, may be too sophisticated and time-consuming for the average student. It should be said, however, that posting of web pages in the internet allows the students, now the web page